Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One story about Daawah that I think is important and has a very important lesson is one time I remember I was at a Daawah booth, and it was at my old university, and we were talking to different people about Islam, and this one guy was showing a lot of interest. He was very fascinated with Islam. We were speaking for a while, and he was just asking all sorts of questions and really engaged, and I said, hey, it's about almost prayer time, let's go to the Musalla area. So we left and we walked and we were talking the whole time, and we actually prayed Maghrib together. I believe I showed him how to make wudu as well, and then we prayed together. And then when we were walking back to the area that we were at, I was telling him all about how Islam spread all over the world, and that it's a misconception that Islam spread by the sword, and Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country, and there was no armies going and conquering. And we were talking and talking. He was like, that's amazing, it's amazing. And he was just so fascinated. And then when we got back to the Daawah area, somebody else, some other person who seemed very combative wanted to talk to me. And he and the guy that I was talking to, who prayed with me and so forth, he started talking to a different group of Muslims and started asking questions and so forth. So then I'm having this new conversation with this new guy who seems very combative and is, essentially trying to argue with me. And then I hear that guy that I was talking to the whole time, who prayed with me and so forth, I hear from that area the guy saying, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, and apparently he had done his shahada. And I didn't do the shahada. It was a little bit heartbreaking. I was like, man, I'm stuck with this argumentative guy. And I felt like I did so much work with this guy, and I was talking to him, and I felt like things were going so well. But at the end of the day, I didn't get the close, And so, like in sales, I didn't get the commission or whatever, right? A'udhu billah. But anyway, the point being is that even though it was a bit frustrating, and even though I wished that I, finished the job. I felt like I brought him like 90% of the way, and then somebody else took that last 10% or whatever the case is. That's okay. And at the end of the day, we always have to remember that, alhamdulillah, whatever work you do for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it gets recognized. You're not always going to necessarily get the shahada, but you can definitely help people along their journey. And that ultimately your goal is not to rack up numbers and just to claim and to say, oh, I'm so awesome because I've converted so many people. But you do want to be the type of person who says, I have engaged in so many conversations and I've helped people so much move in the direction of and getting closer and closer to Islam, inshallah. That is ultimately your goal. So whether you get the shahada or not, whether it's you personally that does it or somebody else, at the end of the day, what's important is that you just keep the work up and you never lose heart, and you're always grateful to Allah Ta'ala that you had a chance to be part of that person's journey. And I thought that was a good way to close off. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.